Hi, Gear 2s. I hope everyone is doing really well. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be creating a presentation, and this presentation will be based around a story. Now, the story you may want to choose yourself. We'll make it a short story, or it could be a story which you wish to write yourself. Now, I'm going to write a story myself. This was actually a story which I wrote when I was really young. Okay. Um, Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my presentation, okay, which you have in Google Classroom, and then we're going to add a title. Now, I've got a box here that says click to add title. So what do you think I'm going to do there? I'm going to click it. That's right. I'm going to add the title to my story, which is Bob's Balloon. Okay. And I'm going to add a subtitle as well. And my subtitle is going to be by Mr. Chowdhury. Okay, so that's my title slide done. I want it to look nice, but I'm going to come back and do that later on. Now, I've got my title slide set up, and I want you to do the same. Okay, so I hope you all have a good title. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another slide. Uh, on the left-hand side of my screen, I have the section which will show me all of my slides. And at the moment, I only have the one slide. So I'm going to click on the plus button right next to it, and it will give me a new slide. Can you go and do that? Good. Now, once I've got that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my sentence. Okay, we'll only try to stick to just the one sentence for every slide. Okay, so once upon a time, there was a boy named Bob. Okay, so that's my first sentence done. I don't want any more text on my screen, so I'm going to click on the edge of this box. Remember to click on the edge, and we're going to click on the delete button on your keyboard. Okay, so once we've clicked on the delete button, we've gotten rid of that. I only have my one sentence on my screen. Now, what I want you to do is then go and create another slide. Do you remember how to create another slide? Yes, that's right. It was the plus button on the side. And let's add our second sentence. Bob received a gift from his mother. A balloon. Remember, I want to get rid of my second box, so I'm going to click on the edge and I'm going to delete. Okay, so now I've got my two slides with two sentences. Can you do the same, please? Let's add another slide and let's get my next sentence in. So now what I've done is I've come onto the second line of my text box. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the other box. Do you remember how to do that? I'm going to click on the edge and click on delete. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the edge of this text box. And at the top here, I have the ways that I can change the font. What I'm going to do for now is I'm going to make it a little bit smaller by clicking on this minus sign here. There we go. Oh, what did I miss out at the end of that sentence? A full stop. There we go. So let's read my story so far. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Bob. Bob received a gift from his mother, a balloon. Bob loved his balloon. It was his favorite thing to play with. Do you remember how I'm going to add another slide? Can you go and do that for me? Thank you. Remember your full stops. Okay, let's add a new slide. Now what's happened again is I've come onto my second line again. So I'm going to get rid of my second box and I'm going to make, remember, click on the edge and a little bit smaller. Now, for some reason, I have a squiggly line underneath this word. Does anyone know why? It's a spelling mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on my mouse. Now remember, if you're using a mouse where you have the two buttons, you're going to use your right finger, okay, to click on that. If you're using what is called a touchpad, you could use your two fingers and click down, and that should bring up a small menu like you can see on my screen. Or if you're using an iPad, you may need to hold on to that word for a couple of seconds, and that should bring you up a small menu as well. So I'm going to see that that was a spelling mistake, and it says, did you mean accidentally? I accidentally made a mistake. So I will click on accidentally, and that has corrected that spelling for me. Now, whilst having fun with his balloon, he accidentally let go of his balloon. Now remember, let's make that a little bit smaller. Let's try and get that onto one line. What do you think happened when he accidentally let go of his balloon? It flew away. Let's add another slide and let's add that on. His balloon flew away. He was really upset. Now, I want to really emphasize on the word really. How can I do that? I'm going to use capitals. Okay, so what we have done is we've used capitals. We've used, remember to use a capital at the beginning of your sentence. Remember, we have practiced using capitals in our touch typing. We use the shift button for a capital. He was really upset. What do you think Mum said to him? Mum said, now I'm going to use speech marks for this. So I'm going to use the shift button, which is an arrow pointing upwards. The shift button and the 2. If you can see on your keyboard, you will have different characters on top of the numbers, and on top of the 2 is a speech mark. Okay? Mum said, do not worry, Bob. Exclamation mark. Okay, how did I use the exclamation mark? I used the shift and the 1. Take care of your things next time. Okay, remember, let's get rid of that second box. And let's add an ending to my story. Can you guys give me some ideas for how we can put at the end of my story? Some good ideas there. Let's use this one. Bob was happy he did not upset his mother. Okay, so now that was a slightly extended version of the story which I wrote when I was your age. So let's see if we can get our story in. And what we will be doing next week is we're going to be making it look nicer. Okay, so let's get our story in, submit your work as well, and let's see all the wonderful stories you guys can all write for me. I will see you next week.